Cecilia, I hope you're ready for the heat, especially if you're going back to D.C. because they're going for potentially the most 90-degree days in July ever. And look at this, excessive heat watches or heat advisories all the way from Nebraska to New Jersey. The numbers today are going to be above 100 for the feels like in a lot of the Midwest and Plains. And it's going to stick there for Saturday. Check out afternoon through Thursday morning. Impacts felt from North Carolina to Massachusetts, the heart of it, Allentown, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, Moorestown, New Jersey. But what does that mean? I'll tell you in a bit. Your local weather in 30 seconds. Good night. Happy holidays. Thank you, George. And I want to start you out with pictures out of Oklahoma, just south of Tulsa, actually, where they had one of their biggest snows in 7 years, in any month. So pretty incredible to have that 5 inches of snow sticking around, making it feel like the holidays. You know it's coming to the northeast and mid-Atlantic, but what I didn't mention was Asheville, Boone, Roanoke, all worried about a mix to even a quarter inch of ice. So we'll keep an eye on that, too. Let's get a check now, a little closer to home.
Sure.
And let's get those select cities sponsored by Intuit TurboTax. The Diablo winds are already kicking in California. Mount Diablo, an 81-mile-per-hour gust. Big-time problems today all the way down to the valley. The Bay Area could see up to 60-mile-per-hour gusts. We're talking taking out power lines and trees type of wind. Southern California gets it through tomorrow. Coming up here on GMA, the new study. George, you know the question I keep getting from people all across our nation? Where's winter? They really want to know. Well, look, I know that Europe's been getting a lot of it. Versailles, France, getting that fresh snow. They even had some snow in Paris. So Minneapolis, at least it's been kind of cold. Cold enough to freeze Minnehaha, as it usually does. And so some beautiful winter images there. But the Arctic air is pouring in. So yes, we are mid to late January here. It's about time, right? Duluth will feel like 14 below by tomorrow morning, 12 below Minneapolis, right up into the UP where you'll get some snow. Let's go ahead and get a check now, a little closer to home.
This Friday, make sure you check out that movie, everybody. Ginger, over to you.
Michael, the winds in Southern California were already getting zesty, and that's why Jim Grant captured this photo in San Diego. But today, you're going to have even bigger waves with those winds. And remember the critical fire danger all the way from Santa Barbara down to the Mexican border. Waves up to 16 feet. So
up to 16 feet, so don't get in any of those piers.
You could see some of the rip current very high. All right, let's go hang a check a little closer to home.
Northwestern wind.
Let's go to Ginger. Good morning, Ginger. Good morning, Robin. A little last gasp of that cold air and winter weather yesterday in Allentown, Pennsylvania. Dropped somewhere between 3 and 6 inches of snow. Some accidents there. They're 30 inches above their February normal. But look what's going to happen. Last Friday, this country was 72% covered in snow, something we haven't done since we started recording that back in 2003. But the warmth is eating away at that snow today. This morning, 35%. All right, Dallas could hit 80 for the first time since November, by the way. Your local weather in 30 seconds. First, the Tuesday Trivia, sponsored by State Farm.
#1 brand just got better.
Avalanche danger is high for parts of the Cascades and northern Rockies. Stevens, Snoqualmie, White Passes were closed. Then they reopened them, at least Stevens, and then had to shut it down again because of some snow slides. So watch for that as you've gotten close to 1.5 feet in some of those spots. Coming up here on GMA,
Own the arena. It is available today. Now let's go back to Ginger. Ginger?
Robin, they are going home. I'm talking about the sea turtles. You can see some of them here, too. And the slide is what's happening with the temperatures. Check out the numbers here. The mildest air a lot of folks have seen in months. New York City should see 50, even though we did that last week. But mid-50s in Philadelphia. Boston could even see the big 50. All right, let's go ahead and get a check now a little closer to home. Sugarbush, Vermont, getting their first snow, about an inch. Mount Mansfield, Vermont, this morning dropped to 32 degrees. You say, well, that seems right. It's the highest point in Vermont. New Jersey had their warmest start to meteorological fall. It is cold this morning, but don't worry, it warms right back up. All right, let's.
In 2016. In 2000.
Good morning. morning there, Ginger.
Hey.
Well, I love how you're repurposing
Thank
what you're
you.
wearing.
Yes,
Yeah.
same pants all week. Reuse, baby.
Yeah.
We're doing it. Because we are getting some of that rain denting the drought and snow, but it comes with this. Gusts to 63 miles per hour, some trees down there in San Rafael. But you like to see this, especially going into the season. It comes with wind again, and we've got more, especially by the weekend. Big time storm for Sunday. Your local weather in 30 seconds. First, though, the Chilly Cities, sponsored by Target.
Good morning, Ginger.
Good morning, Michael, and everybody. You know that California's been dry, like epically dry. Nearly half of the state in the highest level of drought. But we are taking Sacramento, who had their longest stretch without rain of 212 days. Places like Redding, Oakland, Northern California, and we are moving the needle. We are going to see a parade of storms. The unfortunate part is it could come too quickly, so they're concerned. They're sandbagging, preparing for mudslides, and talking feet even, especially Northern California. Your local weather in 30 seconds. First, the rainy cities, sponsored by Liberty Mutual Insurance. As a DJ, I know all about customization. That's why I love Liberty Mutual. They customize my car insurance, so I only pay for what I need. How about a throwback? You got it. Only pay for what you need.
Series. That's baseball, right?
Yeah, yep.
I'm going to help her. All right, let's go ahead and get to Progressive Insurance. And I realize most of us, when we hear Maldives, we think about luxury resorts over aqua water, those little huts, right? Well, they are rich, do not pause or go down by 2050. The problem? The sea is rising way too rapidly, and more 97% of them have lost their wells because the salt water intrudes. And we met people here. Oh, they are lovely. Muba, his daughter Sarah, you can see them in the video there. They invited us into their home. They used to flood once a year. Now they flood 2 to 3 times a month. They don't know how long they're going to be able to live here. Migration is a word they don't want to use, but they may have to. And it would feel desperate unless we didn't bring you some amazing adaptations and technology. They're going to have the world's first true floating city, which you'll see as well next week.
Oh my goodness, I know before you left you were talking to me about that, Ginger. And ABC News is also launching a new...
Thank you. I've been passionate about this my entire career. My commitment is to the atmosphere, but mostly to the people, because let's be honest, the planet's going to be fine. It's the people and our diversity we have to protect, and that's what you're going to see on top of environmental justice and just explaining the basics. Like next week, you're going to see me on top of a wind turbine in Pennsylvania. You know that onshore wind now is cheaper than nuclear and coal and the same price as natural gas? We also go to offshore wind farms and talk about then I'm going to take you to Iceland, to the world's largest carbon capture machine. This is where it's kind of like a vacuum in the sky, taking out those greenhouse gas emissions and keeping the carbon. It's what they're made into that could be the next step in how we find solutions. I always say it's not too late, and I genuinely believe that. I'm so honored that ABC is allowing us and pushing us to want to tell these stories.
Well, you have been right in there with the executives really wanting this to happen, and you have made it happen. Safe travels back in the Maldives. I was there at the end of 2019. It is beautiful, and the people there, as you have experienced, are something special. Glad that you're there. Safe travels.
Are you sure I come back, though? They may need my help for a couple more days, and then maybe I'll come back.
Thank you so much, Ginger. And you can, throughout November, this is unprecedented climate change coverage throughout November. The month-long series, Climate. The people there, as you have experienced, are something special. Glad that you're there. Safe travels.
Are you sure I come back, though? They may need my help for a couple more days, and then maybe I'll come back.
Thank you so much, Ginger. And you can, throughout November, this is unprecedented climate change coverage throughout November. The month-long series, Climate. The month-long series, Climate.
Live in Times Square, this is GMA.
Kicking off the weekend with our Disney Plus Day celebration. Got a great audience outside there in the spirit with the ears going there from Mickey. And Times Square, it is all decked out for the big day.
Yeah, not just in Times Square. We are coast to coast live this morning. Ginger, right there in Disneyland, California. Rob is in Florida at Walt Disney World Resort. Plus, as we said, here in Times Square, Ginger, right there in Disneyland, California. 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 John Stamos, but wait, there's more. Jeff Goldblum, Ellie Kemper, Rob Delaney, they're all here with us this morning.
I like this. I don't know what that is, but I'm sure
try that.
We're going to keep the show on the rails, at least for a few minutes here this morning. Of course, we're gearing up for a huge surprise.
Coldest NHL outdoor game on record. I'm a little chilly this morning myself. It was 7 below. Robin, speaking of some optimism, we had it in California. Look at this. That's the big picture. Let's get a check now a little closer to home. Robin, I-95 not the only one with shutdown problems. I-84 back in Oregon stuck there too, and now that storm moving across the nation. We'll tell you where it goes next. But let's go ahead and get those Tuesday trivia sponsored by Dell Technologies. Welcome back to GMA, a snowy GMA for you on this Friday morning. So LaGuardia Airport just reported 8.4 inches of snow here in Central Park, easily 4 to 6 make ice bubbles in parts of Minnesota. They were doing that in Graceville. Sun halos were abound. Oh, beautiful. You can look at those ice crystals in a very different way. Now, I do want to mention, as of 7 a.m., 47% of this country covered in snow will probably close in on 50%. So we are certainly catching up to what is more normal for this time of year. Even with Nashville, though, and Kentucky. Some places in Kentucky got more than 10 inches yesterday. That's the big picture. Let's get a check now a little closer to home.
You're a busy lady now. Ginger Zee is tracking it all for us. Hey there, Ginger.
Yeah, this pattern's getting active, TJ, that's for sure. We had more than 3 feet of snow in Pennsylvania. New Jersey reported more than 35 inches, which, if verified, could be the biggest in their history. And here, just north of New York City, I'm doing a lot of anecdotal readings of knee deep. No, I actually did measure around 1.5 feet to up to 2 feet. Really incredible numbers. But now we are watching new storms. Before we get there, can I show you Allentown, Pennsylvania, which recorded 27 plus inches, their second biggest snowfall in recorded history. And then you go to the coast with those winds, you had giant waves. Situate, Massachusetts getting pounded as they do with those coastal floods. I'll tell you about it in a bit.
Okay, it is February, as you said.
Ready for a little GMA-ish promo? Okay, here we go. GMA 7A every day.
Bring your friends.
With Robin, George, Michael, and